According to Skynet, buyer's remorse is a feeling of regret and anxiety that occurs after making a purchase. It can happen after any purchase, but it often associated by buying expensive items like a PlayStation 5 Pro. Now I'm thinking that Skynet might be onto something here. The reason why I say that is because I'm seeing a lot of persons making comparisons between the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro, and the results are shocking. Take for example what IGN would have just found out about the PlayStation 5 Pro and the PlayStation 5 when compared.
I'm gonna play two different PS5s and try to guess which one is the Pro. Here we go. I'm worried it'll be hard to tell, which I guess is the point of this video. Everyone's gonna hate me if I get it wrong. Sony, please don't watch this. Excuse me, sir, are you AI upscaled using the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution? Is that what it is? I really should have looked it up beforehand. Water looks good. I mean, again, oh, wait, look at Spider-Man's suit. He is drenched. Okay, now I'm playing the other PS5. I want to be clear, both PS5s look great. Like, you cannot go wrong with either console. Are you AI upscale driven by chance? Are you ray tracing right now? Oh no, his suit also looks super wet in this one. All right, I played both. They look identical. I think the first one I played is the PS5 Pro. Look, they both look good, okay? You can't tell. So maybe don't buy a PS5 Pro.
He's out of line, but he's right.
Let's now examine and see if what Mark Cerny and Sony said that the PlayStation 5 would deliver is actually living up to what they promised. Let's see why there are so many Sony fans who are having second thoughts, who are having buyer's remorse on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So you know what? Let's get it!
This is a sickness!
Let's get it! Before we continue the video, guys, please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. Of course, you get the best Xbox content this side of the Western Hemisphere, and of course, you help the channel out on the road to 4,000 subscribers. No doubt you get the best Xbox news, and we sprinkle a little Nintendo in there. And of course, we specialize. We bring the Sony Pony salt, and we bring it hot out of the fryer. So don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button today. Now let's get back to the video. First up, let's talk about a new Sony handheld. No, I'm not talking about the potato that is the PlayStation Portal. We are talking about something like a PSP 2. There's no reports that Sony is trying to get back into the portable business. You see, if you have been in these gaming streets long enough, you would know that Nintendo would have beaten Sony like a snake.
Snake. I'm a snake.
I beg your pardon?
During the DS and the 3DS era. But it just so happened that Sony has gotten a little more confident when it comes to making another platform to rival Nintendo's platform by the somewhat success of the PlayStation Portal. Let's listen into this rumor and let's talk about it after.
PSP 2, price, expected release date, and everything you need to know. Sony's PSP 2 handheld is in the early stages of development, according to the latest rumors. According to several credible reports, Sony is developing a new PSP 2 handheld console, with a potential launch or reveal in 2025. It makes sense, too. Sony seems to be testing the waters for a native gaming handheld device with its PS5 add-on, the PlayStation Portal, which became the best-selling accessory of 2024. But PlayStation gamers want more than just a simple remote play accessory. They want a PSP 2 handheld that plays games natively, like the Nintendo Switch. It's been over 12 years since Sony released the PS Vita and 18 years since the original PSP. The time feels right for a new PlayStation Portable. PSP 2 according to Sony's timeline. The steady flow of PSP 2 news makes it seem like Sony's handheld announcement is getting closer, but the PS5 Pro is slated to launch first on November 7, 2024, just in time for Black Friday, and PS5 Pro pre-orders began in September. After that, Sony will focus on PSP2 and the inevitable PS6. According to the hardware leaker Moore's Law is dead, Sony is preparing to enter the market. The new Sony handheld is said to be powered by a custom AMD APU, similar to what we've seen from the Steam Deck, Asus ROG Ally, and Lenovo Legion Go, and it will be capable of running PS4 quality games. PSP2 games could also receive a Pro-Lite patch to boost the performance of some titles to PS5 Lite quality, though how this would work remains to be seen. Moore's Law is dead claims that the PSP2 is currently in the high-level design phase, but notes that the handheld is at least 2 years out and technically not green-lit for launch yet. Like all internal projects, the news comes with a disclaimer: the handheld may never see the light of day or could change dramatically in the coming years. As Moore's Law is dead notes, the exact specs of the PS Vita 2 are currently speculation on his part. A more recent report from Bloomberg confirmed that a PSP2 is in the early stages of development and likely years away from launch. There's also a chance that Sony could decide against bringing a PlayStation Portable to market.
So yes, this latest rumor is indicating that Sony wants to get back into the handheld space. We know that Nintendo would have dominated this for more than 18 years, and it appears that Sony wants to come back to get a piece of the pie. We know things have changed now, and one of the major downfall for the PlayStation Vita was because it was not supported by any games. In order for Sony to make any kind of statement in the portable business, they would need to be supported by games. We know this is something that Sony don't have a lot of currently. So would they port all the PlayStation 4 games to this portable? We'd have to wait and see. But we know Microsoft is coming out with some beautiful hardware, especially the portable hardware that have been rumored, and we know that come what may, Xbox would have the better console. But Microsoft has made it even easier for us to play games on the go, and that brings us to our sponsor. Today's video is being sponsored by G-Story. Yes, G-Story is a company that makes a number of gaming accessories. They make controllers, they make screens, they make a number of different accessories, bags and so forth. Now, the fine people there at G-Story sent me a controller. Now, this controller is meant to be used with your phone, and it is for when you want to play games remotely, when it is you are not behind a television and you want to just play these games remotely. Now, this is not the first time I'm using one of G-Story's products. On the same channel, I have a G-Story portable screen. That screen still works well. I still whip it out sometimes and play games on it. But this controller really did surprise me. It's very responsive and it works so well with the Xbox app. Now, if it is you want a controller like this, right now it's on sale on Amazon for just about 44 US. I believe it's normally for $60, so $59.99. But it works really well and it feels premium. If it's one thing, guys, this control does feel premium in the hands. So I'll leave a link in the description below. If this type of controller interests you, you can play all your Xbox games on the go with this controller. You don't need a new PlayStation PSP to play all of these console ready games. So G-Story, thanks to the fine guys there at G-Stories. Now let's get back to the video. So let's now ask the question, why are some persons having buyer's remorse when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro? Is it because of the price?
Disk drive. I remembered yesterday that this thing doesn't come with a disk drive.
Yeah, about that. I'm just doing the math looking at my GameStop receipt. I spent $800.28 at GameStop on this thing, and then also had to spend another $95.38, which means all up, it cost me $895.66 to buy the PlayStation Pro. I already had a PlayStation 5.
got that PS4 Pro in the background. You know, I still have one of those in the box. I'm gonna have to sell that for a good price one of these days. Still not sold, Sony. Still not sold. I cannot lie. You know, I was gonna buy it, and then it just, as the days went on, I got more and more angry at that price, not including a stand and a disk drive. What the F? So maybe one day I'll buy it. I don't know. It's in the enhancements aren't worth it to me.
Neighbors, Dreamcast here, and today we're talking about the PlayStation 5 Pro because I got it. I spent my own money to actually purchase this to do.
Wait. Did he just say he spent his own money to actually purchase the console? And he went on record to say that he sold his own girlfriend his used PlayStation 5 for $500. And now he's saying that he spent his own hard-earned money. Dreamcast guy, you are a pony, man. Come on.
Do a brutally honest review. Now, this thing, including the cost of the disc drive that you have to buy separately, this cost me $800, but
yes, it is possible that persons are regretting buying the PlayStation 5 Pro because of the price. But here we have one of MBG subscribers is saying that here what he is having buyer's remorse after the, you know, all the infatuation phase has passed, all the hype has passed. He is saying that, you know what, you know, he think he should not have purchased this console. Listen.
Rashdom V2 with a super chat says 2 week thoughts on the Pro. Got one on Black Friday sale plus tax free. But aside from Final Fantasy VII, I'm feeling buyer's remorse. Sony could have priced it at $600. Interesting, Rashdom. Yeah, I mean, look, the hype cycle of the PS5 Pro is over, and I've had it since launch, and I don't feel buyer's remorse because I kind of like expected that I'm probably not going to get the most out of my Pro until, you know, 2025 and like in the next 12 to 16 months with new games that are coming out. But I do understand that, like, I do understand a little bit more why people seemingly were so disheartened with it, at least as of right now, because it's a, you know, at its launch and it's still early. It is one of these things where for a lot of games, it's not that you can't notice the difference. And I do think, again, there are people who are too disingenuous about it.
So here is where we can see MBG trying to convince himself and to try to convince his audience that there is a significant difference when it comes to the PlayStation 5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. Earlier on in this video, we would have seen where IGN would have put it to the test. And guess what? He did not pass the test to point out which game was on the PlayStation 5 Pro. So there is a very strong argument that this is not a significant, how to say, jump in whether it be graphical fidelity or FPS when it comes to the PlayStation 5 Pro. And if it is not a significant jump, then could it be called Pro? Could it be called a step up from the PlayStation 5? Let's be real, MBG. Stop lying to yourself and stop lying to your audience.
But it is understandable. It's like you're looking at a good-looking game that gets even better.
Lie again. Lie.
So yeah, MBG is continuing trying to convince himself that the PlayStation 5 Pro, you will see significant, you know, visual upgrades. But why are persons still very remorseful buying the PlayStation 5 Pro? Is it because a Digital Foundry is laughing at the PlayStation 5 Pro?
Seen here, we're seeing that the PlayStation 5 version running that old PS4 code is the least performant of the lot, right? Interesting stuff. The Pro, on the other hand, is kind of battling it out with Xbox Series X for the smoothest performance overall. Only applies to cutscenes for the most part here, so to a certain extent it's academic, but even so, some interesting stuff here, because, you know, there's basically the Series X and the Pro fading blows here, surprisingly enough. This second cutscene, which is going to surprise many people here because it's not really the narrative you expect. But remember, this is using back compat. The Series X actually runs faster than the Pro.
I beg your damn pardon. They did not see the camera. It's a camera and a microphone.
So yes, according to Digital Foundry, the Xbox Series X is running Hogwarts Legacy better than both the PS5 and the PlayStation 5 Pro. What a thing! But then after Digital Foundry went on to clear up some things that they seem as misinformation by the PlayStation community. Listen to what they said here.
So when I read subjective things online, people are always saying like, wow, this looks so good. Like Oliver was just talking about Star Wars Outlaws. People are talking about like, wow, this looks so good. And I'm just like looking at like the media I see. I'm like, this doesn't look so good.
Damn! I'm sorry.
So be wary of subjective takes you see online, I always feel.
Yeah. There is a certain element to it where I think people just boot up the PS5 Pro and they just assume whatever I'm seeing on screen, that is the ideal form of this game. But actually, you know, if you use your more objective senses and you actually do some comparisons, or even if you just look at the issues in a game like Star Wars Jedi Survivor, you see pretty quickly, I think, that there are substantial issues, and I kind of wonder exactly how much of a degraded image you could present to those users, and they'd still think, oh, this is a great image. You know, it does make me lose my faith a little bit in the opinions of the peanut gallery there.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah, there's been some fascinating discourse online about the capabilities of the PS5 Pro and how, you know, suddenly, you know, the Matrix Awakens is running at 60 frames per second. It's really not. The cutscenes are still capped to 24. The game is still locked to 30. The CPU issues when you hit another car is still there. It's, you know, it's plain as day.
Yes, ponies, Digital Foundry is not laughing with you. They are laughing at you, as you guys would have paid $800 for this PlayStation 5 Pro for just like 6 more frames on your games and a few blurry textures on some of the games. So let me hear what you think. Are you hearing or are you feeling buyer's remorse as you would have paid, you know, so much money for a PlayStation 5 Pro, seeing that even in some circumstances the PlayStation 5 is outperforming the PlayStation 5 Pro? Wow, I mean, there's some real spooky stuff out here in these gaming streets with this PlayStation 5 Pro. Sony laugh all the way to the bank. Let me know what you thought about everything that was said today. Buyer's remorse, you have to live with it.